I suppose one thing I found interesting was almost the irony of addiction, in that when people take their drug of choice and they go into that dopamine deficit state, that might make them stressed, anxious, mostly about the addiction. So they might get very stressed about the addiction. Then that'll make them take the drug again to soothe those feelings of stress and anxiety and start that cycle over again. Is that right?
That's exactly right. I mean, it's this terrible vicious cycle. We do something pleasurable, the balance tips this way, but then to try to bring it level again, we adapt to that, not just to level, but to the opposite. And we're feeling anxious, and we want more of the drug. And we can feel then shame and depression about wanting more, but it's also just the physiology of wanting the drug. So then we use more, and then we go back to that painful side. So it's this constant sort of teeter-totter that is elaborated upon by our own narrative, right? And the narrative is often a narrative of shame, self-loathing, lying about our use, which then leads to more shame, all of which that can drive reuse. But even separate from the stories that we tell about our use is this physiologic dopamine deficit state that follows on the heels of an increase in dopamine. And that alone can drive repeated reuse, even in the absence of real pleasure.